Hi everyone, welcome to another AMHA video blog. Today I want to talk about small area games. Now this is something that I'm really excited about. Small area games are one of the best things going on the ice for small kids and bigger kids as well for skill development. It's a great way for kids of all ages to learn new skills, refine older skills, and also help with some decision making with the puck as well. Okay, it's a great way for kids to have some fun while doing it, because in the end it is a game. Okay, there's a lot of times we'll go on the ice, whether it's a young team or stuff, and you'll see 12 or 13 kids on a full ice with a goalie in each net at each end, and drills going on with a lot of ice not being used. And sometimes that can be a little overwhelming to kids, and we might not be using the ice as efficiently as possible. To further my point, I want to show you a video done by USA Hockey. It's a great video. It'll open your eyes a little bit to what kids experience when they're young on full ice.
I mean, it's daunting. It's huge.
That's the main thing. It's just size is just too big.
Oh no, it's too big. When I stepped onto this ice surface, I kind of was looking down and trying to figure out where it started and stopped.
It's the view of what ice was like when we were kids. You know, this is what it was like, and you forget that when you get older.
Looking out at this as a kid, it would be overwhelming. Just wondering, you know, if you're going to get up and down the ice surface.
We thought this was for a completely different sport. It almost looked like a joke. You know, you see the giant nets and everything. There's no way we're playing full ice on this.
Am I going to play on this? Oh, jeez. No. Big net. I mean, the goalie's like, he's standing up and it's above his head. I'm like, it was crazy.
There's so much room on the ice that you end up spending a lot of time in open space, and you're not touching the puck.
And we realized how bunched up we were, spread out, and used the ice, but then you weren't part of the play. You were so far out of it.
And a lot of chasing and just not much contact.
If you're out of position once, you're not going to get back in it. You're done for the play. So, yeah, it's very unforgiving.
If you're caught out of position on this thing, oof.
With a big sheet of ice, there's a lot of one-on-one type play. So if you can beat one guy, the other team's so far away they can't even catch you.
If you're a defenseman and you're beat, you're just going to probably more or less tend to give up.
On the long passes, the passes are so long that they're easy to intercept.
It's hard to communicate because everybody's spread out so far, and you're out of breath, so that makes it hard too.
I need more water. A few more minutes to breathe. It would have scared me if it was my first time, because I can't do that every day. Thanks, guys, for the worst skate of my life.
I'm exhausted, and even just once up and down the ice, I came out here and had to lay down in the track because it was just wearing me out.
If I was just a little guy, I want to play in as small of ice as possible.
There's too much time between the action.
I think for kids with their attention spans, it makes it even more difficult because they lose interest if they're not involved in the play.
Anybody that would experience it for the first time would not be able to pick up the style of play, how to be in position. It would be way too difficult. There's way too much area to cover.
It's a little less thrilling, a little less exciting. Just the way you play out here, it's nothing like that you'd play in real life.
The surface is way too big to learn on.
Okay, I think that video should open our eyes a little bit on how it's such a big ice for what those kids see when they're small, whether it's IP, novice, or even the lower atoms, or the lower levels of atom and even peewee. The ice is a big ice surface for kids that size, and I think it can be overwhelming. I think the last couple lines of that video was great. It's really difficult to learn, one guy said, and the last line under the USA logo: full-size ice is for full-size people. Okay, so I think we need to be a little creative when it comes to coaching with the little kids in practice. When I say little kids, I'm saying minor hockey in general. Even with the peewees, the bantams, and even midgets. I've done work with a lot of midget groups that we do small area stuff, and it really shrinks the ice surface, and it forces decisions a lot quicker, and it forces you to use your skills in such a confined space. Okay, so I think that video there is something great to watch, especially as a coach, to see some different thoughts on what a real big ice surface to us as adults would be like, because that would seem pretty hard when the nets are 10 by 10, almost soccer goals, and the ice is I think it was 310 by 130. Okay, that's a pretty big lake to skate on. So that's exactly what kids, minor hockey kids, would see as well for that full ice. So we need to be creative and come up with some games. So I have this presentation here that I'd like to do. It'll take a few minutes to get through it. I put it together for small area games in general, so I think this is something that we can go through together, learn a few things, talk about a few things, and it's something that maybe we can carry into our practice planning and preparation and our habits as the season goes on. Okay, so small area games. So this is the kind of canvas that we'll be working on today. There's a lot of different things that we'll talk about. There's some drills as well and some videos that we'll be able to see. So what are small area games? Okay, a lot of people will ask, okay, well, small area game can just be obviously a game in a small area. But before we look at what the benefits are, we should be able to understand what the small area games are. Okay, essentially, it's a competitive game in a reduced area of play. Okay, and there's really no rules to that. You can be creative. It could be in one end. It could be cross ice. It could be in a circle, between dots, below the dots. And the last one there is be creative. You can choose any area on the ice and you can be creative. It can be between, it can be between the red line. It could be between the red line and blue line. You can really be creative on any area of the ice that you want and make up a game and put them in a small space. Okay. Lower number of participants. Any number can be used depending on situation, level of play, and skills being taught. When you're in small areas, there's a lower number of participants, so it helps with development. A lot of times you want a high number and for doing drills to keep players moving, but when you're doing a small area game with a lot of repetitions, you're able to use some lower number of participants, and what that does, whether it's a 2-on-2 or a 3-on-3, okay, it puts them in a little bit tighter quarters to work. You can also the situation, maybe at a higher level you want to work on some power play skills. You could have a 4-on-3 or even a 3-on-2 small area game. That way the team that's on the defense with two players have to understand angles and lanes, and there's always an open man, so you have to make sure that you have to play two players at once almost. Okay, level of play, you could, like I said, you could use 3 for novice, you could use 3 for midget, okay, but you could also change it up as well. And also the skills being taught. Is it a skating drill? Is it a puck control drill? There's a lot of things that you can use. So if you wanted to even put a puck on a player's stick and you have more bodies, then that's one more body that you have to stick handle around. Okay, it's designed to work on skills and increase touches. Okay, these are the biggest things in my opinion for small area games. The more time with the puck on the stick, the better. Okay, a lot of times we saw in that video players are skating up and down the ice, and even more so in games on regular ice surfaces, you don't have the puck on your stick a whole lot. You're always playing away from the puck. So if you can get the puck on your stick more in small area games, it's much more beneficial for a player's development. Okay, you've got more chances on net, you've got more experience, and when it comes to games and with a chance on net and a scoring opportunity, okay, so that'll build confidence for players. You're forced to make plays under pressure. Okay, in a big ice surface, if you have the puck, you might have time to get your head up and make 4 or 5 seconds to understand what player that you have to pass to or skate to or whatever. This time you have time to basically get your head up and make a play right away. So once you do that, the time will open up big time on the ice once you get actually in a game situation. For goaltenders, this is important as well. They face more shots and face live action, i.e. rebounds and deflections. Okay, a lot of times in practice, we're guilty of maybe just putting the goalie in the net and they're going to be a target for an hour. What they do in this small area stuff, there's a lot more shots coming at them, and it's live game-like action shots too. There's rebound control that we have to put to a corner, because if we keep the rebounds out in front, they're going to keep shooting. Deflections, since there's a lot of players, it could hit a lot of things, so we have to be good in reactionary skills. The last note on this one is futsal. Okay, it's a small area soccer game essentially. It was created in I believe Brazil quite a while ago. And what it is essentially, it's an indoor court style small area soccer game. And a regular soccer pitch is 60 yards by 100 yards, and it's 11 on 11. What futsal is, it's 27 yards by 16 yards, and it's 5 on 5. Okay, so it's a small area. You have to make a lot more plays with less people, and it really helps with their development over there. As you can tell, soccer is very strong in that area of the world. You'll see a clip here about how small the field is, essentially. Okay, how small the court is. What they've got to do is they've always got to be in good supportive positions. They've got to have good support with the ball. Good passing. The nets are smaller, so it's much harder to score. But essentially, it's a great drill, or a great way to see that you can translate small area anything to make to help a skill development at any level. You see that the level itself is much more faster. It's a lot more action than in a traditional soccer pitch, and the passing and the touch is something really great to see. Okay, so who uses small area games? Okay, this is a good way to look at it as well. Small area games isn't just used by minor hockey players at the lowest levels. Okay, it can be used by anyone. We've got some clips here that I want you to see, because every team at every level should use small area games regularly. Okay, this is junior hockey. This is the United States World Junior team, or maybe perhaps the under 18 team, I believe. Okay, but this is a junior team essentially using the small area games.
I think the biggest thing, especially because you can't see it as much on a big sheet of ice of what that would help you with, but being able to be good in the low in the zone in the small areas to get that separation. If you get that 2 feet separation from somebody on an Olympic sheet, that opens up all the time in the world. So if you're good at the small areas and can get yourself into open ice with all the extra ice you got on an Olympic sheet, it helps you make more plays and helps give you a lot more time since you're on such a big sheet of ice.
Okay, that's a great clip there by the USA Hockey. Okay, now we go to college hockey. This was the Frozen Four a couple of years ago, and this is the Yale team doing a small area in their practices before the games. And you'll notice with this one, it's done in a circle. Last one was done half ice. They split the half ice into 2, so it's almost a quarter zone drill. This is a drill just done in the circle. It's a drill that I have actually diagrammed out that I'll show everyone here at the end of the presentation. There's a lot of skill in this drill where it's got to be quick puck touches, quick shooting, quick passes. Decisions have to be made so quick. And moving on to the last example here. Okay, that was junior teams and college teams, but this is right here is an NHL clip, and this this is the Tampa Bay Lightning do a small corner hockey 2-on-2 drill. Okay, and this is the best level in the world. This is the NHL. These are the best players in the world. And I've seen this drill done with IP practices and novice practices and atom practices, because it's a great drill for any level at any age. Okay, you put a puck in the corner, have 2 players on each team, fight for it and chase for it, and they've got decisions to make quickly in a small area. And it's great for the goaltenders as well, because they've always got to watch the chances that players can just turn off the wall and shoot the puck is high, so they've always got to be ready and play rebounds. Okay, and once again, I can't stress enough, this is the best players in the world at the best league in the world. Okay, you might think that they might be trying to reinvent the wheel sometimes, but they just play simple small area hockey, and these are the fundamentals and the skill development that they do as well. Okay, now let's go to why use small area games. Okay, we've talked about what they are, maybe who uses them, but why do we want to use them? Big idea is to promote creativity and confidence. Drills can have the tendency to be scripted. Okay, what small area games are they are unscripted. It's not a drill where on the whistle you go here, you go around the cone and you're in for a shot, and then you go to the back of the line. That's a scripted drill. Drills are mostly scripted. Small area games are unscripted. Okay, there's non-predetermined outcomes. Okay, in drills that are scripted, there's a predetermined outcome, and it eliminates decision making and creativity. What that does, it helps make practice players. I'm sure coaches have seen a player that looks great in practice, but what they do is once they get in the game, their decision making struggles, and they can't make plays in space, so it hurts their creativity. Okay, what small area games are unscripted. There's no predetermined outcomes. They have to make the decisions themselves, and that will translate into game and better game performance. Okay, it'll give players repetitions of experience they will face in games. A lot of times in drills that they won't get that experience. What this does, it faces competition, and it'll help them face those experiences that they will see in regular game action. Okay, it'll create more of a competitive environment amongst your team. Okay, it pushes players to work harder. A lot of times when you do drills, players can pace themselves. There's nothing to really push against. This will make you say, okay, you never really want to lose to your friend, and you always want to be better than your friend or beat your friend. Okay, this is a great idea if you go 1-on-1 or 2-on-2 or 3-on-3. These are great little drills, and it's fun. Okay, you compete at game speed, which is tough to get in other drills. You might see players work really hard in other drills, but it's still not game speed. These are game speed drills, and it also gives you experience and repetitions about learning to succeed against competition. Okay, once you get into a regular game, you've been in that situation before. You've had success against that in that experience before, and that'll help translate into better game performance. And the last one is you eliminate the need for traditional conditioning drills. Okay, a lot of times you'll see in practice at the end or the start or whatever it may be, you line players up on the goal line, and you got to skate down and back, 10 times or whatever it may be. Okay, these are drills and games that really help with the providing intense competition and pace with proper work to rest ratio. Okay, so if you're doing a 3-on-3 cross ice game, where players are in probably every second or third whistle, maybe a minute and a half minute rest, that's a good way to have conditioning drills done rather than just putting them on the boards or putting them on the goal line. Okay, they're going to work hard in there against their friends and against their peers, so you're getting the conditioning done, and you're also getting some development done in game situations. Wallies and suicides, which are traditional names for some drills where you'd go side to side on the boards or goal line to goal lines, that's not an effective training method at the minor hockey level. Okay, that doesn't teach the kids anything. It's more of a punishment or something like along those lines. But these are not great effective training drills. So what you'd rather do is maybe put a puck in the corner and let them battle for it. That's a great way to condition the players. Okay, so moving on, we want to look at the effective activity with small area games. Okay, conditioning is occurring just like we talked about. It keeps players moving. All right, there's no long lines and there is also proper repetition. With small area games, if you have the players going on each side, there's not a lot of long lines. Okay, sometimes in drills where it's just one player going from each side, sometimes there's 7, 8, maybe 9, 10 people in a line where there's not a lot of proper repetition. This gets rid of that. Okay. And then also you learn to excel in tight situations. There's less room to execute as players grow. And that's the fact of hockey. When players are in IP and novice, the ice is huge. As it gets bigger in Pee-wee and Bantam, it gets smaller. And once you're in midget, the ice is it's pretty small. There's not a lot of room to make plays. So once you shrink that zone, they learn to excel in tight situations, because games are played in tight situations. You look at defensive zone. A lot of those defensive zone situations is a 2-on-2 in the corner. Even in the offensive zone, when your team is on the offense, it's essentially a 2-on-2 that you're trying to win. Okay, so practicing like this in these situations puts players in the best position to succeed in actual games, because they have the experience of playing in those 2-on-2 battles. That essentially what the game works down to. Small area games develop a number of things, but one of them is definitely game strategies and decision making. Okay, it works on the skill of support, and support is hard to teach sometimes. There's drills that you can have players come over to one side of the ice to support a player with the puck, and that's a great way to teach it and introduce it. But again, that's a drill that has a predetermined outcome. The player has to go there because the coach said you have to go from point A to point B to go to get that puck. Okay, this is the kind of situation where you actually have to make the decision to provide the support. You have to be in the right place at the right time to help support the puck. And the big term of this is hockey sense. I'm a firm believer that you can teach hockey sense. Some may disagree, and some may think that it's something that you're born with it. I firmly believe that when you are put in a situation where you have to make decisions and help in tight situations, that these develop a hockey sense and help players make right decisions. Because essentially that's what hockey sense is, making proper decisions quickly with and without the puck. And I think that you can help develop that in small area games. It also helps enthusiasm for practice. Okay, these are a couple quotes I got from coaches last year, direct quotes. At the end of the year, I had some chats, and they said, one coach said, practice is boring, kids want to have fun. And kids won't work hard, nothing gets accomplished. Okay, so we have to be creative sometimes to motivate kids. Okay, sometimes in the years gone past, and the intimidation factor of coaches, it just doesn't exist anymore, especially at the minor hockey level. And I don't ever suggest that you want to use an intimidation factor with minor hockey kids. I think we have to be creative and take it upon ourselves to find new ways to get the kids encouraged and enthusiastic to come to the rink. Okay, practice is boring. Kids want to have fun. Sometimes skill drills are boring, okay? So we have to make sure we try to communicate that fundamental skill drills, whether it's circles or partner passing, that can be boring, but it's working on skills. Well, what small area does, it's a game. I keep going back to that phrase. It is a game. Kids like games. There's a winner, okay? And kids want to be competitive and win. It is a game. They like that, all right? And when they say they won't work hard, nothing gets accomplished. If you were to have a 20 minutes of 3-on-3 cross ice, there's a lot getting accomplished. There's conditioning. The kids are working. They're having fun because, again, it is a game. Okay, they enjoy that. What do they benefit? Okay, these benefits players of all ages and all skill ability. This is another quote. I can't run effective practices because of the diverse talent level on my team. Okay, I always firmly believe that you have to coach to your top player. Okay, that's just part of my coaching philosophy. You have to coach to your top player. What that does, it's if you don't do that and you coach to the bottom players or the mid-tier players, okay, it's cheating that top tier or top level player. Okay, so by coaching to the skill level of your top player, you're challenging him, but you're also challenging the other team, the rest of your team. You don't want to do it so much that it can be overwhelming. You have to find ways to get everyone involved. But this is something that you really should try to do from now on. So if you were to, again, go back at a cross ice 3-on-3, all the players are still being challenged. Okay, no one is overwhelmed in a 3-on-3 cross ice, and this applies to all levels and all abilities. It's a simple game. No one's overwhelmed unless there's a very vast skill difference, which it could be a peewee playing with a novice that you'll never really ever see. But if it's a peewee player playing with even an Adam player, okay, there's a little bit of skill diversity there and age diversity, but I think no one will be overwhelmed, and players of all levels will be challenged the entire time because they have to make decisions. That's the biggest thing. They have to make decisions, and there's nothing scripted. Okay, this is great for coaching development. Happy players love the game and want to come back to the rink, and that's no different for coaches, okay? It's a great way to have a good feeling amongst your team. Players are happy. They got a smile coming on their face when they leave, and that's really the biggest thing about minor hockey is keeping them enjoying the sport and having fun. Okay, because kids can read emotions. Sometimes teams will model themselves after their coach, and if their coach is having a bad day or upset, they're frustrated, they can read that. So sometimes the best thing to do is just play a small area game, let the kids play themselves, and it's developing them as a skill development drill, but it's also helping you as a coach as well. Okay, and a happy, hard-working coach with a great attitude will produce a team with similar traits. I really believe that a good, hard-working coach with a great attitude and a patient attitude and a progressive attitude will really carry over to a team. Okay, just look at a couple of the skill sides. Okay, these are just some skills, some isolated skills that work on with in small area games. And again, this is any game you want to talk about. It could be a cross ice game, could be a one circle game, could be anything. Okay, so let's say skating, the number one skill of hockey: lateral movement, tight turns, stops and starts, transitions, pivots, crossovers, backwards and forward strides. Okay, these are just all the skating abilities and skills that are worked on and refined and introduced in small area games, and these can be worked on at any level. Okay, it's very important to work on these. Okay, puck handling, quick passing, shooting, quick releases, stick handling in tight. Okay, and all of these are under pressure, so you don't have a lot of time and space, and this is the optimal way to become a better puck handler. If you have to handle the puck in space, which you don't have a lot of time, This is the best way to become a better puck handler and a more confident puck handler. Decision making in hockey sense. We go back to what we said. Hockey sense can be taught. I really believe that. Okay, you have repetitions in game-like environment, and they can only be gained through experience in these situations. They're unscripted drills. There's no point A and point B that you have to go to. Coach drops the puck and you play, and you make the decision yourself. And that's exactly what we need to encourage players to do to promote creativity and confidence and making decisions themselves. Situational skills. These are just some different things that you can work on in games. You can work breakouts, some special teams, PP, PK, some support that we talked, some give and goes, and you can be creative. If you see a skill or a situation or a tactic that you want to put into a small area game, by all means. I think there's no script on what small area games you can have, or there's no rules. You throw the rules out the window. That's the best part. You can make it up, and as silly as it may seem, there is teaching moments in those games and drills that I think any player at any age can benefit from. Okay, going up to, we talked about why all teams. We've looked at junior teams and college teams and even NHL teams that do it. Okay, but why should teams do it? Okay, it develops skills more effectively, more repetitions than scripted drills. Okay, you have more reps than drills that where you're just in a line, one person going at a time. You can promote creativity and confidence. Get players to try different things. Okay, players see their favorite players on TV every day. Sidney Crosby, Patrick Kane, okay, PK Subban. Those guys can do magical things with the puck, and they want to get out and practice. And the first thing they want to do is try that toe drag that they saw or that spinorama. By all means, tell them to do it. Encourage them to do it. And if they can work at it and get more confident with it, they will be able to do it. And even if they can't do it to the best way they can, they're still working on different things. And that's some creativity and confidence that we should try to instill in our young athletes. We want to generate the love and enjoyment for the game, okay? Having fun makes everyone look forward to coming back to the rink. And I think we all have to recognize at the end of the day, our job as minor hockey coaches is to instill life skills more than anything, to make kids stay active and have fun and have a smile on their face. If at the end of the season, all of your players want to say, I had a fun year, we had fun, I can't wait to play hockey again next year, every one of those coaches can write that off as a season that is successful. Okay, it doesn't matter if you won provincials or a tournament; those are a byproduct of success. Okay, I think what the real success marker is that every kid improved, had a good improvement, and also enjoyed it and had fun. Okay, so there's our small area games presentation. I just want to go through, I've got about 8 little games there I'd like to go through quickly, and you guys can see some of them, and I think they're a lot of fun. I think we can all kind of use them, okay? Oops, sorry, I'll just go back to this one. This one here is 2-on-2 times 2 in the half ice, okay? It's explained as such. Mark off half the zone with cones or tires or sticks even from coaches, and we'll have 3 players in each side. As you can see here, the red team, and then there's a blue team. So there's 2 offensive players on one side, on each side. So the 2 blue and the 2 red, they're on offense, and the 1 red and the 1 blue is on defense. There's a 2-on-1 going on either side. None of the players can cross the cones. So when these 2 players are on offense with the puck, the blue player is trying to get that puck back and send it to these players so they can attack this net, okay? You can get creative with it. You can make it a 2-on-2. As you see here, you can make it a 2-on-2 with the defensive D in at all times, okay? So I think it's a great little 2-on-1. It's a great drill for working on power play and special teams as well, okay? Next one, 3-on-3 elimination. This is great for groups that have a lot of players on the ice or a big team. There's 3-on-3 basically going on each end. You've got red and blue, and then you got black and white down in this end. 3-on-3, 1 puck, 1 net. You can have a reset line or whatever you want to call it. And as soon as the goal goes in, that team stays, and the next line goes in. So a lot of teams that have a good amount of players, you could even do 2-on-2 and have 1 or 2 groups out here always being ready to go in. So you can be creative with this with the numbers. 2-on-2 may work best with smaller teams. Teams that have upwards towards 18, 19, 20 players can probably get away with doing 3-on-3. But essentially, it's both ends going. There's no whistles. You throw a puck in, you play a 3-on-3. Winning team stays, losing team goes out. Okay, next one. Plymouth small ice game. I've seen coaches do this before. We're turning the nets around. I think it's great. It's great for goaltender development because they've always got to be looking. Again, we have an imaginary line. You can put a cone or a stick that's breaking the ice in half, and it's a 3-on-2 times 2. Kind of like the 2-on-1 times 2 drill that I explained there a couple drills ago. But you put it in. X's are trying to score against this goalie. These O's are trying to get the puck and send it over to their O teammates on the offensive side on this side, where X's will play defense on that side as well. Let it go 45, 60 seconds. Change quickly. What I love about this one, there's 5 players on each side, 10 players going at all times. It's great for repetitions. Players are going nonstop. Hey, this one here, small ice point shot. Sometimes a lot of players, coaches at the end of the game will say, "Wow, we're having trouble getting the puck to the net. We're using our points pretty well, but we just can't get the puck to the net." This is a drill that really helps with that. Small ice point shot, 3-on-3. So it's 3-on-3 and a half ice. You see how we have the net set up. We make sure there's lines on the dots. So the O's are trying to score in this goalie here, the X, and the X's are trying to score in this goalie here, which is the O. Okay, so there's a 3-on-3 in zone. Now the main rule is these players here in the zone, they cannot shoot. They cannot shoot, so they have to be in supportive positions at all time when they have the puck. And the O's are trying to get their puck they're trying to pass their puck to their line. Once the puck is at their line, okay, above the blue line, O's are trying to get to the net because the first player in line is the one that can shoot. He's the only one allowed to shoot. So it's basically point shots with 3 players in front of the net creating traffic, so it's hard for the goalie to find the puck. Okay, these X players, it's great for defensive because they want to be able to box out, they want to be able to pick up sticks. As soon as they get position, boom, they pass it right to their team, and everyone's racing into this net. So it's a great drill. Players have a lot of fun with this one. Okay, this is a drill, USA Hockey National Team Development Program, small ice game. We're going to split the ice again. It's a 3-on-3, but there's supportive positions. It's a great give and go drill. Okay, so it's a one-on-one, and you've got 2 teammates. The O's that are trying to score in this net, they've got a teammate below the net and one working the blue line. The X that's trying to score in this net has one player trying to below the net and one player working the blue line. Now these players can't go above the goal line, and they can't go within maybe 3 or 4 feet. Maybe if you put a cone right about here, that will keep them in that area. So it's a one-on-one, and before they shoot on the net that they have to shoot on, they have to make at least one pass to either teammate. Okay, so this O has to make a pass here and get it back, and then he's got to make a pass here and get it back before he scores. Once the X regains position, he's got to make a pass here, get it back, and then a pass here to get it back. And they can use the entire zone to create lanes, create openings, and create support. Lots of fun in this drill, and then you can just rotate through. Same idea in this one. We just moved up to the neutral zone ice, so it's between the blue lines. We place the nets as such. The only 2 players, the way that we see it here, the only 2 players on each team, only 2 players on each team can cross the center line. So if the O's are trying to score in this net, this player and this player, right here, these 2 O's are the only ones that are allowed on this half of the ice. Okay, this player here has to stay on this side of the ice. Same with the X's. The 2 X's that are on offense that are trying to score here, they cannot cross that center line. Not cross that center line. This player has to stay on this side of the center line. Okay, now you have the players on the wall. Encourage them to use those players as give and goes as teammates. Okay, if a player crosses the line with the puck they're not supposed to do, violations, offsides, and they lose possession. Okay, but try to make as many passes as possible before getting a chance on net. And again, this is just a great way to find openings in lanes. This is a fun drill. I learned this a long time ago. I got it from a longtime coach, and he called it the BAST drill. And what it is, he made a little name for it: battle, anticipate, support, and time. Okay, put 2 nets against the boards and put 2 players on each side, and it's all below the goal line. All below the goal line. That's a small little area. Okay, so obviously we've got a battle. You got a battle for positioning, battle for the puck. Be heavy on your stick. Anticipate. You've got to anticipate. You can use the boards. You can use the chips off boards. The rebounds. Goalies are going to kick out rebounds in such a small space, so you anticipate where the puck can be. Okay. Supporting. Always have stick available. Sometimes players don't understand the difference that if you're supporting the puck with your stick and your stick is available, even though your body may be covered by an opposition player, as long as your stick is available to a teammate, they can put the puck to your stick. They don't put the puck to your body, they can put the puck to your stick. So have the support, always have the stick available, wherever it can be, always available to your teammate, even though your body may not be available. Okay, and obviously time, the last one on the T, is taken away. When you're in such a small space like this, you have no time to make a play. You've got to protect the puck, get your head up, make a play, whether it's a shot or a pass or a bump or whatever it may be. So this is a great fun drill that players will like. And the last one is probably the most used, the most effective small area game. It's called Nowhere to Hide, and good reason. Put a net on the circle. One player's lined up this side, one team player lined up on that side. Put a puck in, and it's one-on-one battle and fight for the puck and try to score. Both players on offense, both players trying to get the puck and trying to score. Hard for the goalie because it's always pucks are coming non-stop, and these players here, they're just trying to keep everyone in, so it's such a confined space. So again, puck protection, decisions with the puck, whether protect or shoot, and so it's a fun drill, it's a hard drill, and it's definitely a conditioning drill. Okay, so as you can see, those 8 drills, those are just prime examples of some small area games, but I encourage you to research it or even think of some games yourself. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope everyone had a chance to get some good information about small area games. Like I said, I think it's a great way, it's a creative way for kids to learn and kids to have fun. Sometimes practices can be monotonous and boring. I can understand that for sure. But as much as we do this to try to keep practice interesting and have some good basic fundamental skills worked in those games, I think kids will love it and they'll look forward to it. And you'll find that kids will actually say, can we play this game? Can we play that game? Whatever games that you want to use. Okay, so please contact me with any questions or any ideas about the games. I'm always looking for new ones. I love them. Or if there's any ideas that or any games that you're looking for, I can definitely help you. So thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to get out soon and we can do lots of small area games at any level and any age. Thanks a lot.